Hello everybody and welcome, and today we're going to be taking a look at our second game of the finals of the most recent WGI tournament. So on this map, as we're going to see, the Sun Tzu team is not very familiar with, and we're going to be paying dearly for that one. And let's first take a look at the composition. There are not many composition changes compared to the last one. We have got Cow infantry on the red side, Caesar infantry, Germanicus infantry, Foxes on Boudica. We have Hannibal spears. We've got Cannae archers, which are the only archers in this match. We've got Leonidas pikes, which is different compared to what we had last time. We have Sulla infantry, and we have Scipio cavalry. On Sun Tzu's side, we have got 2 swords, 1 elephant. We have got Scipio cavalry. We've got Germanicus infantry, Guan Yu glaives, Boudica dogs, Caesar infantry, Leonidas spikes, Sulla infantry, Caesar javelins, and we have the commentator. So, what is the plan on this map? We try to pull a similar strategy as the one we had. Let's turn the fog of war off so that we'll be able to see the entire map. So, let's take a look at our deployments here. The idea is we will be able to overwhelm from Echo to Bravo. Because of a lot of options to get there, we hope to be able to outmaneuver the enemy to capture it. Charlie is being contested really quick. Both sides are trying to scout one another. It looks like the red team is instead pushing towards Delta, where we have very limited defensive forces. So let's take a look how it progresses. We have got another Guan Yu coming in. I believe we have a Sulla infantry over here, and Guan Yu coming in to give them the God of War to make them unbreakable. This way we'll be able to counteract the weakness of Sulla, letting him hold longer. So we have the infantry moving from the left. They encounter some pikes. They encounter additional pikes over here. Pike on pike action going on. We've got javelins running in. I wish they had deployed a little closer. The pikes see the dogs and they run away scared. And see, the pikes over here are managed to just push the enemy back. And so we are able to taunt the pikes with and we are able to route this unit over here real fast. They're trying to regroup. This is a very smart move on the red team's part. See, they knew they would not be able to hold it here, so they're regrouping at a passage. Now let's take a look what's happening at Delta. We have a massive engagement going on. There's no way that the blue team, Sun Tzu team, will be able to hold against the red team over here. So now we have the delay tactics going on Delta, and Bravo being contested by the infantry and the elephants. Vici does its job over here and stops the pikemen from lowering their pikes, and now they're completely surrounded. This is why Caesar infantry, or Caesar in general, can be so effective. It just prevents the units from using any of their abilities. Now these spikes, because they've activated Hold the Line, are able to hold, and this is where they're able to shine. But they're flanked on 3 sides, so that's not going to help them, and Bravo is being contested. Delta, meanwhile, has already been captured by the red team. This allows, see, here is the map, why it's so important to know the map. Do you see this respawn point? Now let's take a look how close it is to Charlie. It's pretty much a stone's throw away. In fact, it's almost at a slinger's range. And also the fact that it is within tall grass means whenever they spawn, the blue team will not be able to see where they are. Bravo, on the other hand, spawns atop of a hill, which is a nice territorial advantage, but it does not compete with what the other side has to offer. So that's one of the things that I hope that the game will balance in the future. We've got the blue team capturing Bravo, but the red team had captured Delta earlier. So right now it's a rush to Charlie. But the red team has already had Charlie under control. They split their forces much better and retreated to Charlie much sooner. This was a great strategic call on the red team side. And for some reason, they also like to attempt to capture the base. I just don't get that. They have managed to secure Charlie, but what they should have been doing instead is trying to contest Bravo, because capturing the base is just so strategically disadvantageous. It takes 5 seconds for any unit to teleport, and it only works on teams that are not very effective. Oh, we see a very nice play over here. Cavalry attempted to charge the javelins, but the pikes intercepted them very quickly. Infantry hits them from the back, and this cavalry is as good as dead. And now, here we see the elephant coming into play, able to contest while nobody else is able to come in there. Elephants are faster than infantry, and they're very sturdy. Now we have our infantry coming in from the back, forcing the enemy's backline to retreat. So we have these Litia going back, because there are 5 units that are currently headed back to base. There are currently 6 units that are within our base, which can be a dangerous scenario. But cavalry is more than a match for a lot of those units over there. So now the base team is receiving reinforcements, and now the teams on Bravo are able to push back. Oh, a very smart play by the red team. They are using the rest of their forces to attack Bravo. They're like everywhere. There's a bit of defense on Delta. Their cavalry is healing up. Everybody is doing something. Had these units not been here, but have been at Bravo, they would have had a really good chance of taking Bravo really quickly. Instead, now these javelins are just going to tear apart these pikemen. They already took about 30% of their health in a single volley. We have additional engagement. This is just preventing from Charlie being taken, and now blue team has the advantage. Had these units not been at the base trying to win the battle outright, they would have been able to push the blue team out of Charlie. Or out of Bravo, which would have been a similar scenario. One mistake that I'm seeing here also is that the routing is not really happening. There needs to be a much better division. There needs to be much better communication with infantry and cavalry. Like, had the cavalry use their unit to route these two, this engagement would have been much, much faster. And now the base is under control. Charlie, the blue team, is pretty much just trying to push the enemy out of Charlie. And the only thing holding is the Scipio cavalry. Bravo, completely under control. One thing that the blue team has did badly here is overcommitting on the Bravo's defense. They should have been moving to defend Charlie a lot sooner. This is one strategic mistake that I'm seeing over here. It's very smart for the red team to use their Scipio cavalry to just oath and leave. But yeah, this overcommitting over here, not very good, not very good. And you see these units are still holding over here. They should have been flanked and routed a long time ago. This is something that the blue team's infantry will really have to practice. Let's see, we have additional cavalry over here. They are preventing the blue team from capturing Charlie. The cavalry routes, letting them get 50% on the capture. And now we have this infantry unit that does have... Nope, it's Sula. Oh, one other mistake that I personally make is I should have been walking around. Yep, I fixed that mistake by trying to walk around, but instead I should have been going around it and routing this unit. See, this is how much a single unit is able to cause so much headache. And this is very smart on the red team's part. I really appreciate how well they played on this one. And now we see flanks are not being properly calculated, but that's because this number 3 unit was initially engaged from the front. These are the things that you see only after you have only when you're watching a replay, and these are very important things. So Delta is currently undefended, and the blue team is going to scout it to find out. But Delta's position is so important. You're able to hide so many units, both at the spawn and the unit, and it's so close to Charlie. In contrast, look at how B is so far from Point Charlie. Just holding Delta is so much more important, and this is where knowing the map comes in. Now, in time, does this need balancing? Absolutely. But, you know, the blue team should have known this important factor. We have the infantry here, they're just clashing into each other, kind of AFK. Idle units are a very amateur mistake. So we've got this, while blue team had the Charlie under control, those idle single units have managed to buy enough time that now it's almost equally matched. There is no point difference between the two. That's just insane. This is just so close. Both sides have made some understandable mistakes they probably should not have made, obviously. But still, it is very, very close. This elephant over here has just charged into the archer lines, keeping them away from the main line. Like, people really... It seems like a lot of players seem to have a huge fear of elephants, which is, you would think, is understandable, but they really overestimate how much damage it can do. You should never, in my opinion, you should never have more than one unit engaging another unless you're trying to rout. Because then, while you're losing 2 seconds, the opponent is losing only 1. Multiply that by the amount of units, and you've got yourself a losing team. So this is another example. See, we have 2 cavalry fighting here. They should have been up. They are indeed routing, but not fast enough, and they're barely contesting Point Delta. Now, right now, the only reason blue team has advantage is because they're better at contesting the points. Cheddar's units here should have probably been at the front lines. Blue team should have been using their supply lines a lot better. Like, send the weakened units out to heal, and then send the strong units back. Now, Bravo is not being defended, but now, because all the units are currently in vision, there is no need to advance because we know where everybody is, and nobody is coming in there. So now we see that Caesar infantry, having teleported back to the base, initially wanted to go to Delta, but instead choosing to go to Charlie because all the forces there are defeated, and Charlie is in trouble. One thing you will want to avoid is this trickle in of units. So Pike is assigned to pretty much protect this area. Glaives are assigned to protect Bravo. Pikes are assigned to protect the healing point, because if the healing point is under attack, well, we won't be able to reinforce Charlie. That's a nice usage of supply train, but I feel like it could have been done better. This is one of the things that this new game mode implements that I really liked. And it makes it feel like an actual war with supply lines and, with reinforcements. It's quite good. It's really quite good. Now we see in another engagement, I'm trying to come back on the Point Charlie, and blue team's completely pushed out of Point Charlie. Red team is quickly taking it. Red team did not have to establish much of a supply lines over here because of this distance between these 2 points. Once again, shows the importance of knowing the map. And now we see here the infantry walking around trying to push the archers away from the main field, because we know that the rest of our units are on their way. So here we see an overextension by the red team and Rav Rage. They're holding the units here with the Oath of Perseverance. But the infantry is still coming from here. Oh, pikes are doing a quick work off of this infantry. That's one mistake that I've made. I should have been staying away from those pikes because I did not have enough of my allies coming in to help. Had I had any Sula in this vicinity, who was right here, all I had to do was push back a little bit, and I would not be taking any damage from these pikes. Because Veni plus prescription means you don't take any damage. for the most part. But a lesson learned late is better than lesson never learned. And so you see me pushing my units back to 3, back to the point Charlie, because it's about to get unlocked. Now we have small engagement over here. They're completely surrounded, but the flanking doesn't seem to be working very effectively over here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units engaged against 1. A lot of these units would do much better on the front lines. Got Elephant contesting Delta as it should be. Good work on the Elephant. Got also Midget who comes behind and hits the enemy's back lines and disrupts their supply lines. So now 2 of their points are being captured. They have 3-point advantage, but because the points are contested, they're not gaining anything from there, and the blue team is gaining to almost twice the points as they do. Now let's speed things up a bit. Right now this is a bit of a stalemate, just a lot of back and forth, a lot of back and forth. This is like an actual war. It's such a war of attrition. It's incredible. Right now, both sides are equally matched. They're making very similar mistakes. And to be honest, there aren't even much mistakes on either side. Oh, we see a change of tactics over here. With the Charlie being captured, they're using the Charlie point to heal because the blue javelins have been pushed out. So now they're healing over here and are assaulting point Bravo. Oh, but while that is going on, we have multiple units spawning from the base and headed to point Delta. Let's see if this back assault pays off. Right now, the red team has the advantage in both points controlled and total score. Let's take a look how this assault on point Bravo works out. Charlie is being reinforced. They're forming very nice lines over here with their cow right in the middle. Their buff, giving those buffs. Now, I'd like to point out what is happening here. These infantry are attacking the pikes, but they're not taking any damage. For those who have seen the Sulla guide, they will know Sulla, even when engaged on the front, combined with Veni, tends to not take any damage, even on tier 6. So the only damage they take is mostly from archers, as we can see over here. Oh, this Sulla is a little AFK, we can't have that. So let's see what's going on at Delta. The red team sees what's going on and sends immediate reinforcements to Delta throughout these units, but see, one mistake that the blue team has made, they should have been acting together. That way they could have routed this one unit, not preventing the enemy from being able to send reinforcements in. So that's another mechanic that teams need to learn, is rally points. They need to be able to come together and attack together and just wait outside for a few seconds. Now we have these 2 cavalry versus Glaives. Glaives clearly being anti-cavalry unit is able to make a short work of them. Oh, we've got some units surrounded over here. They need to work together and engage in this unit. Charlie being contested, Delta being contested, but the red team still has the advantage. We've got an interesting engagement going on here. A lot of units pulling through. Kind of this spear blob over here. The problem with spear blobs is that they are 3 times easier to flank compared to the other units. And now we see one of them already routed. The pikes took a lot of damage. They also dished out a lot of damage. All units are receiving damage. Where are they getting it from? Looks like the pike and spears. Okay. Good to know. And yeah, now blue team is able to successfully pressure Charlie. Looks like they might be able to turn this around. But the assault on Delta by the blue team is unfortunately failing. Had they only attacked together, there's a very good chance they would be able to neutralize the point and thus preventing any kind of healing and reinforcements from coming in. That would have been a much different battle. These small decisions, this is why this game is so good. These small decisions make so much difference, but only in hindsight. It takes true skill to be able to make those decisions right on the fly. Oh, that Charlie is almost in blue, and they managed to lock that point. And now the blue team is gaining 3 points compared to red team's 1 point. This is where the battle begins to turn, because Charlie now belongs to the blue team, and now they have a much closer healing point. This makes it very difficult for the red team to be able to contest it in the future, because now their supply train does not need to be so long. They are healing right here, so they're not left with many options. They're sending a cavalry unit from the top. The sword infantry played by Blinton is able to intercept them dead in their tracks. He's kind of going for the base from the looks of it, which I can assure you I did not order that. But he knows that the cavalry is there. He is providing vision. See the difference? He did not go for the base. He provided vision to their most likely respawn point. And now the red team has rallied. This is a very smart play by the red team. Rally together and assault together. You should be united against, you should be many against the enemy's few. The way you do that is rally points. Let's speed things up a bit. We've got some respawns happening. A unified attack with pikes pushing in. A pike duel over here. But the red team makes a mistake of dividing their infantry lines, letting the blue team kind of take some flanks, and this creates, like, this situation should have never happened to begin with. Oh, we've got a blob over here. These units are very vulnerable to flank right now. And now, see, instead of attacking from like one front, this area is right open, but they do not have any units that are able to push through. Finally, they have pulled these Falkses out, but that bought enough time for the blue team to intercept. And we've got some 2-on-1 engagements, but with the intention of flanking. Now with this unit flanked, this unit is almost flanked as well. Sorry, routed. Routed is what I was saying. Now we see Blinton taking down the enemy cavalry. Yep, our defending players are doing a very good job at Bravo. Elephants contesting Delta, preventing the enemy point acquisition. The pikes are doing a really good job over at Point Charlie, just running around and doing damage, but that also results them in getting flanked. But still. So right now, this organization and individual skill, I believe, has allowed the blue team to gain the rank advantage. They have a few more chevrons compared to the red team, and now they're trying to cap the base, which I find really funny. Which was, I believe, is just a distraction, because they were supposed to be defending Bravo, and we will see that this is going to cost them a lot, and potentially Point Bravo itself. It's strategically not a good idea. It's strategically just not a good idea to contest the base. It's very easy to call back, surround the attacking units just as it is happening right here, and then attack the point that they were defending. It's much better to play for the points, basically. It's much more consistent, much more effective, much more safe. You have engagements left and right. So all what the red team really had to do here was to contest Point Bravo. Rather than trying to chase this unit with two of their cavalry, they could have been using one cavalry on Point Bravo, denying the point gain for the blue team, thus be able to gain many more points. Because they're already contesting Bravo, and, well, with the Delta not being contested, they would have been gaining much more. And now the Bravo is being contested, so the advantage of the blue team has just went away. This is how important contesting points are. Contest those points. Very nice. The red team is reinforcing their assault on Charlie. Oh, they're doing a bit of a mistake over here and pull through those infantry. This results in them losing 15% of their health. There are just so many things happening everywhere, it's kind of hard to commentate. Oh yes, at this point, the red team makes a giant push at Bravo, and with the point difference being this small, this push, losing point Bravo, can strike a huge blow against the blue team. They're sending everything they have to defend Bravo and contest Delta to prevent that gap from closing, because gap is just a little over 100 points. Oh, the pikes are at the point Bravo. They need to get those units inside. Gotta speed it up. But the red team prevents them from coming in. Only these Scipio... Yep, this Scipio cavalry is the only thing that is inside. The javelins are being chased by the Cow infantry. Fortunately, the blue pikes are coming in, but they're just in and out, in and out. The rank advantage is now really coming in handy. Any advantage when the game is so close is so important. Now, one thing that the blue team could have done is send more units to Bravo from Charlie, but right now it just hangs in the balance. It hangs on a thread. And Point Delta is pretty much unassailable, as you can see. It's so close to healing, it's so close to Charlie. It's just such an important point to have. So now we have tier 4 pikes against tier 3 pikes. And these swords are the only thing that is keeping the enemy team from capturing Bravo. It's almost. And the point Bravo's been neutralized. They are capturing it. The point gain is equal, but the point difference, the score difference is 200 points. Now it is 1-1. Blue team has recovered, and now they're rushing into Bravo, preventing it. All they need to do is hold long enough to win the game. 35 with 3,500 points. They're also trying to contest Delta. They managed to contest it, making the difference in points much larger. Right now, this is pretty much a suicidal assault. Just to win. Right now, we've got 150 more points left. Charlie is undefended. The red team is attacking Charlie. Dogs are trying to stop whatever they had. The units that were at Charlie have recovered, but they did not cycle it right. Because of that, the Charlie is left undefended. So a quick unit might have been able to capture Charlie. We are at last 100 points, and the blue team has managed to capture Bravo and lock that in. With this, the game, thanks to both sides capturing it and the failed assault on Bravo, just by the skin of their teeth, the blue team has managed to hold on to Bravo and hold on to their point advantage. And with that, they win by about 250 point difference. Both sides have played very well. Both sides have made quite a few errors, and we hope they learn from that in the future. Well, with this, the battle is about to be over. Alright, and that was the WGI tournament, week 2, and I'll see you next time.